Hello everyone, I'm Dr. Ali Nairizi, the President of Renatol Pain Associates and United Pain Urgent Care. Happy Veterans Day to our old veterans, and we're very thankful for your service and what you've done and what you still do for this country. Today we have a special guest here with us, Jim Jackson, who is a patient of our practice and also a veteran. We're going to hear his story and his journey in recovery from the injuries and pain and his quality of life and his passion and the art that he does. So let's hear his story and join us for this wonderful chat with Jim. Thanks. Hi Jim, thanks for being here with us at Arena Development Practice.
I'm really glad to be here. I appreciate you having me here. Okay.
Tell me a little bit more about yourself and the service that you've done in the past. And we thank you all for your service to our country. And Veterans Day is coming, and I know you are very active. Just introduce yourself, give us a little bit more story about yourself, and we're interested to hear.
Okay. I joined the Navy in 1964 and spent 33 years serving my country. Back in about 1990, I started having back problems, and I went to see a Navy neurosurgeon, and they did a laminectomy. And a year later, I was still having problems, so I did a discectomy. And shortly thereafter, in 1992, I was told that I could no longer serve on active duty because of my back. The steel decks on the flight deck and steel ladders and running up and down was just taking its toll. So I spent the next 5 years as a ROTC drill master. And then I finally finished everything after 33 years. And believe it or not, I took on a much more challenging job. I became a high school teacher. I taught high school for 15 years, which sometimes was worse than the Navy. And then my last year teaching high school, I went to go to work one day. I went to get up out of bed and the pain drove me to my knees. My wife said, "No, you're not going in." I said, "Yes, I am." And my wife, being the very smart woman that she is, took me to work, then went around the corner to the local coffee shop and sat and waited because she knew it was going to happen. I'd been there probably 15 minutes. I went to help a student. Pain drove me to my knees. So I went over to the teacher's lounge and just fell on the floor. And the poor young teacher was there and said, "You having a heart attack?" I said, "No, it's just my back." And long story short, I went to the emergency room and they said I had what was called, instead of a blowout, that it ruptured inside the canal. And so I had a third back surgery, which helped a lot and lasted for about 10 years. And I started having pains again, constantly all the time. It just kept getting worse and worse. So I went to see a neurosurgeon in Carson City. He said he recommended surgery, and I said I didn't want to do surgery again. And that's when he introduced me to the miracle worker, Dr. Nairizi. I went to see him. We did several rounds of blocks and ablations, and it would last for a little bit, but just kept getting worse and worse. And he recommended I have an implant. And that implant was done about 4 years in February, I think. And before the implant, I couldn't stand for more than 10 minutes without excruciating pain. Now I can walk. I'm part of a military organization that does funeral services for veterans. I march. In fact, we have a parade tomorrow in Virginia City for Veterans Day. That'll be marching in. So, and it's all because of this gentleman right here.
Thanks. Thank you so much. We are very blessed, really, with our patients, especially the patients that they come from a VA hospital. We have worked closely with the VA system in northern Nevada, and as a community care, we provide treatments for these patients who have served our country. So they have done their job, and it's our turn to help them and get them where they need to be to enjoy their life with good quality and less pain if they suffer from injuries. So one of the things that Jim has done for us, which we didn't expect, he's an amazing artist, and he does great work, handcraft U.S. flags on wood that you can see right behind us. So he has given us and given me a U.S. flag, and with his own hand that he crafted. It's beautiful. So it's always over my desk, and every time I look up and I see that, it reminds me of why we do what we do, basically, and it reminds me of the reason behind the work we do, and again I say why we do what we do. And I'm always very thankful, and I work with our team harder to make sure that these patients to get the best relief as possible and safe. Then also we're very thankful to the VA system that allows us to be part of this journey with these wonderful patients, and hopefully we can continue our care to these patients for having better relief and better quality of life. So, Jim, about your art, just tell us about these U.S. flags, what you've done, how you make them. Many people they want to know, and I know that also you have them for an self. They want just to purchase some of these
Yes.
items.
Well, to start off with, I started making one flag for myself. And then somebody said, well, that's kind of nice. Could you make me one? And I said, yeah. And so it's become a very productive hobby for me. I don't make a living with it. I don't intend to. In fact, I don't charge much more for each flag than it cost me to make one. Okay. So after I started making them and people started asking me about them, I said to my wife, I think I'm going to make one for Dr. Nairizi. So I made this one here. This one's 37 and a half inches in length and has a full star field. Then I started making the smaller ones for the 1776. In fact, that one right there, I was telling one of your staff, after I leave here today, I'm taking it to the FedEx because that's from my brother in Missouri. And then I had a friend of mine said, could you do a battle-born flag? So I made this one here just about a week ago. It's the American flag. That's the same size as this one here, except when you hang an American flag, lengthwise, the blue field is always to the left, okay? And then I put these letters on the bottom, Battleborn, okay? And then, of course, I cut the little Lake Mead in there.
Beautiful. And if someone's interested, how can they reach out to you?
Well, I've had, my wife has put me, I'm not a Facebook guy, but my wife has put me on Facebook. So they can look on Facebook under my name, and some of the flags are there. I do have cards that I give out. And I was telling, again, one of your staff just a few minutes ago that I don't assembly line these. So I don't have all this stuff laid out in my shop where I go boom, boom, boom. Somebody says they want one. When I start making that one, I work on nothing else until that one's done.
It's done.
Okay. Like I spent the last week on this one for my brother, and now I'm also making one for one of your employees, Julie. She asked for one, and I'm going to start on that one probably either this afternoon or tomorrow. Well, not tomorrow. Tomorrow's Veterans Day. I'm going to be pretty busy tomorrow.
Just let us know. I'm curious why U.S. flag.
I spent the majority of my adult life defending that flag, and I will continue to defend it till the day I die. And so when people say to me, I want one of these and I want to hang it on my wall, that does wonders for me, because then that tells me they also support this. This country's in some pretty bad times right now, but I have a flagpole in my front yard and the American flag's flying there, and every morning I get up and I look at it and I understand what that means. It means freedom as much as some other people don't want to. They want to tromp on it, they want to burn it, they want to do it. But that to me is freedom. And I've always thought that I had a grandfather was in the Navy, my father was in the Navy, my brother was in the Navy, my son was in the Army, my grandson is currently in the Air Force. So we are a military family, and again, I will support that with my last breath.
Thank you so much. I think one of the reasons that this country stays always strong is because of people like Jim. The people who are always ready to defend the country no matter what, regardless of where they are, who they are, and when they are needed to defend and help the country. Happy Veterans Day to all of our veterans and people who have served this country. Thank you so much. We thank you every day for what you have done and what you do. Thank you. Thank you, Jim.
You're welcome. Thanks.